Hi and welcome to this video. Today we are going to see how we can perform what is called a chi-square test, also called an independence test. Another way to see it is we're going to see if an IV that is nominal has an effect on a dV that is also nominal. So we will have two nominal variables and we will see if they are independent or not, which is why we call these tests also independence tests or independent chi-square tests, or also association tests. Right? So in other words, we're going to see if there is a statistical effect between two nominal variables. So here are two nominal variables which are in the data set that is attached to this video. The two nominal variables that we will investigate and we will see if there is a statistical effect between them are gender and the fact that individuals have been aggressed in the past 6 months, which is the variable named AGR for aggression. And so here participants have been either aggressed, that's a Y here for yes, or not aggressed, that's an N here, and participants are either male or female. So it is not really straightforward, it's not really easy to find in SPSS how we can perform a chi-square test, even though that's really a basic statistic, so we should be able to find it easily, but it is not exactly the case. What we have to do is go into analyze here, analyze, and go into descriptive statistics, cross tabs, so we'll do some cross tabulation here. Let's go into cross tabs. Okay, so we have this window popping up, and here we will select one of the nominal variables as our row variable. So here it's going to be gender, so we select gender here. You can also double click. And here for our column variable, we're going to choose agr, right, for being aggressed in the last 6 months. I will add here in my column variable. So what else would I need to check here? So that's essentially what many SPSS analysis menus are. Here we can select the different statistics that we want reported. So let us click here on statistics. What we want reported here is obviously the chi-square, so the chi-square test, that is going to be an inference test on the population to see if there is a statistical effect in the population. And also we want an effect size statistic, and notably we're going to use Kramer's V, which is the most used to measure the quantity of association in a sample. So remember, we have two important things here: the magnitude of the effect in the sample and the eventual presence of an effect in the population, which will be checked through the chi-square independence test. So we need to check chi-square and Kramer's V here, which we will have. Let's click on continue. Another thing that we may want, sorry, that's not here. Another thing that we may want is here the different percentages of female being aggressed, male being aggressed, etc. So in cells, here, if I click on cells, I can, sorry, I don't know why it's showing up here. I can add here, for example, the percentage per row, percentage per column, and total percentages. It's useful when you want to do some reporting about the, for example, the percentage of female being aggressed versus the percentage of male, which you can add in a research report, for example. Let's click on continue. Right, so we have here everything. We can also add a bar chart here if we wanted to. And let us click on OK and see what we have as an output. Okay, so we have 100 valid cases. Right, let's have a look here. We have the cross tabulation with the percentages. So here, for example, we have 67 female not being aggressed, not having been aggressed, and 9 having been aggressed. And we have 22 males not having been aggressed and 2 having been aggressed. That represents here 91.7% not being aggressed, which is a little higher here than the percentage of female having been aggressed. So obviously what we see here is that there seems to be an association. In the sample there is an association. Females have been aggressed a little bit more here, 11.8% versus 8%. So we should see at least a small or even very small, but there is some effect in the sample, but this effect may not be significant, meaning that there may not be enough evidence to conclude that there is an effect in the population. So let us scroll down a little bit more here to see Cramer's V. Okay, so once again we're describing the effect in the sample. The effect in the sample is represented by the value here of Cramer's V, which is 0.048. If we have a look, and you have this in your course at the rules of thumb for Cramer's V, we see here that when Cramer's V is lower than 0.10, we say that the effect is so small that it is called a null effect, right? It's not absolutely null, but it's very small, right? So we can say here that there is no effect, because it is very small, in the sample. Okay, and we know this from Cramer's V. Now, if we want to conclude on the population, we need to have a look at the chi-square, the Pearson chi-square. So I'm scrolling up here a little bit from Cramer's V, which is here, and we have here the chi-square. Here, so I have the value of the chi-square, the degrees of freedom, and especially what we want to know about is the p-value. The p-value is here. Right? It's 0.63. So this p-value of 0.63 is the probability that we observe in the sample a chi-square of at least 0.229 if there were no effect of gender on aggression in the population. In other terms, if the chi-square in the population was actually 0. So here this probability is still pretty large. It is higher than 0.05. So we cannot here conclude on the presence nor absence of an effect of gender on aggression in the population. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video.